Another very interesting thing about watercolors, especially if you mix a special color, and when it dries, you can use it again. So you can just pick it up again, and it's still, it's a viable color. So you can, when you mix colors, yeah, you can still use them again. So what we're gonna do, I know I mixed 3 different colors to make this sort of this sepia wash. Okay, maybe it gets a little, you can tell I'm basically over here. Let's see here. Okay, I'm using these 3 colors. So what I'm doing, I get a little bit of yellow. And I don't mind mixing a little bit. So you get a little bit of yellow, this warm brown, and this little cool sort of red here a little bit. Okay, and again, I'm gonna mute it out a little bit. I'm gonna put some in here, a little more yellow. Because I want to start light, and starting light means you start with more water. Okay, so I even put more water here. Okay, so we'll see how this looks. Now, also on the side of, we kind of put a little dot right there. Also on the side of the palette, you might want to actually do a little test area here, just to see what that looks like. And that's pretty close, I think. We'll go with this. Okay, so yeah, so basically using those colors, you can mix. And so now I'm going to go back to my Lili, okay? And I'm just going to start looking for mid-range and some dark areas in here, and just sort of draw these out. And again, it's a watercolor, so it's sort of my interpretation of this work, okay? So I'm outlining these lilies, bringing it down to the stem. Got a few pieces in here. And I'm trying to let the light come through. See, I'm letting the paper come through, okay? So you don't actually go back in. There's no necessarily white watercolor. The idea is you're thinking sort of let the light come through. Let's see. And like any kind of art, I tend to like to work fast and fun. Put this in here like this. A little piece here. Let's see, this one comes in here. And as you lift, you push down, you can lift up, you can get these nice, sort of thin, thick to thin kinds of things. So as you're pushing down, you can be pulling back up, and you're using that tip here. See, so you get some of these details coming through like this. Let's see, come over here. This all connects down to the stem. And this is also called monochromatic, when you're doing just one color. I'm not relying on different colors. See how I get sort of that leafy look, that the detail here. I just sort of lay the thin part of the brush down and get this piece going here. And I get this up here. Can outline it just a little bit. And the other thing too is if you let things go light like this, but let it stay light, it kind of recedes. It goes in the background, and then your darkest comes forward. Okay, so as I add more color of the same color, it actually makes it darker. So in other words, I don't have to mix a darker color. I just simply use the other one over again. See that? And it just builds up naturally. So in other words, the reason why it's getting darker is because it's just on top of another color. This is a translucent medium. So we have the color down here that's very, very light, very muted with water. We then brought it up with a little more pigment. And now I'm actually using, like I said, it's still the same color, but because it's drying behind it, it's actually now it's just building up on top of it. And that's the beauty of watercolors, that you have this transparent, translucent medium. And you can actually take, as I told you, you just sort of not use a lot of water and just sort of flick the paint around, and it gives it kind of that dry brush kind of look to it. Now, there's also a way, so we've got this in, and we'll let this dry. So there's my lilies. Let's see, not too bad. Okay, and usually if you're outside, this is going to start to dry pretty darn quick. So let's see, I've got this one here, a little lighter. Put that back here, so my light hits that side. So that's going to be brighter. This is a little less light. These work. I can put in some details. If you leave a little bit of water in there and go back with the details, you get these really interesting natural part of the paper. You're always thinking contrast. See, this, we got a piece coming down like this. And I think it's always fun if you even run over some of your other lines. I don't think it hurts create some new ones in here. I don't think it hurts the design. That's for the center of the lilies, these little dots. I may go back and actually wait for it to dry a little bit more to get those in there. And you just call vignette, you go from dark to light. So there's my my lilies. I may, oh, and again, don't forget to always find a nice place. Let's see, we'll put it over here, to Truman. 20. There we go. So there's my sort of my interpretation of the lily that was done by Leonardo da Vinci about 1475, 1500, and again, it has that sense of that wash. You got the background, and you're using pretty much the same color, but in layers, and just building it up as it dries. Okay.